Set out the rods for gaff-top catfish, and fixed lunch in the galley while the boat drifted against the anchor rope in the warm wind. On this morning, Annie had boiled a pot of shrimp and blue-point crabs and was cleaning the shrimp in a bowl to mix with a pan of dirty rice we'd brought from home. I had to smile as I watched her. She was my Mennonite Kansas girl with curly gold hair that lifted on the nape of her neck in the breeze, and eyes that were the most electric blue I'd ever seen. She wore a man's faded denim shirt with the tails hanging over her white ducks and canvas shoes with no socks. She'd learned to clean fish and shrimp and handle a boat in a gale as well as if she'd been born in the bayou country. But she'd always remained my Kansas girl, sewn together from bluebonnets and sunflowers, tilting awkwardly on high heels, always awed by cultural difference and what she called weirdness in other people, although she came from a background of wheat farmer pacifists that was so pervasively eccentric that she couldn't recognize normality when she saw it. She had a tan, even in winter, and the smoothest skin I'd ever touched. Small lights played in her eyes when you looked into them. She saw me smiling at her, set down the bowl of shrimp, and walked past me as though she were going to check the rods. Then I felt her behind me, felt her breasts touch the back of my head. Then her hands collapsed my hair like a tangle of black snakes in my eyes, and her fingers traced my face, my brush mustache, my shoulders, the punji stick scar on my stomach that looked like a flattened gray worm, until her innocent love made me feel that all my years, my love handles, my damaged liver weren't important at all. Maybe I'd grown foolish, or perhaps fond is a better word, in the way that an aging animal doesn't question its seduction by youth. But her love wasn't a seduction. It was unrelenting and always there, even after a year of marriage, and she gave it eagerly without condition. She had a strawberry birthmark high up on her right breast, and when she made love, her heart filled it with blood until it became a dark red. She moved around the chair, sat on my lap, rubbed her hand across the thin film of sweat on my chest, and touched her curly hair against my cheek. She shifted her weight in my lap, felt me under her, looked knowingly into my eyes, and whispered, as though we could be heard, "Let's get the air mattress out of the locker." "What are you going to do if the Coast Guard plane goes over?" "Wave." "What if one of the reels goes out?" "I'll try to keep your mind on something else." I looked away from her toward the southern horizon. "Dave?" "It's a plane." "How often do you get propositioned by your own wife?" "Don't let opportunity pass, Skipper." Her blue eyes were merry and full of light. "No, look. He's in trouble." It was a bright yellow two-engine job, and a long trail of thick black smoke blew from behind the cabin all the way across the sky to the horizon. The pilot was trying hard to gain altitude, gunning both engines, but the wingtips wobbled from side to side and wouldn't stabilize, and the water was coming up fast. He went past us, and I could see faces in the glass windows. The smoke twisted out of a ragged hole just in front of the tail. "Oh, Dave, I thought I saw a child," Annie said. The pilot must have been trying to make Pecan Island so he could pancake into the salt grass, but suddenly pieces of the rudder shredded away like strips of wet cardboard, and the plane dipped violently to port and turned in a half circle, both engines stalling now, the smoke curling as thick and black as smoke from an oil fire, and went down hard on one wing against the water's surface, flipped over in the air like a stick toy, and landed upside down in a huge spray of green and white water and floating seaweed. The water boiled and danced on the overheated engine housings.